Hello, everybody. It's attorney Laura Sterling. It is now December 30th, 2024. In 48 hours, it'll be 2025. Can you believe it? I know it's crazy. I hope all of you had a beautiful, blessed, loving, peaceful Christmas. And I hope you all have a fabulous, love filled, blessed, peaceful New Year. Of course, if you have any issues, we're here to help you at Taria and Sterling. So don't forget. This live, remember I talked about in December, we're going to get you ready for 2025. We're going to make sure that all your documents are in order. Now, last live, which I spoke about before Christmas, I talked about a will and a trust. Remember, we talked about the difference between a will. A will has to close, meaning you give all your things and stuff out of the will, and then the will closes. A trust, on the other hand, can give directions and can be open indefinitely. I want to give money out here. I want to give money out there. I don't want to give it right now. I want to give it later on. You can do that with a trust. Now, that, as we spoke about, deals with things and stuff. Are things and stuff like behind me, or over here, my painting, my Orlando Magic painting, my Believe sign, my Buenos Aires book. All of that is my things and stuff. Who do I want to have my things and stuff when I pass away? That's what a will and a trust is for. But let's kind of switch gears. I'm going to switch gears into how we take care of ourselves. How do we make sure that we are, as individuals, our individual needs are taken care of, right? So the first thing that I would start out with, which I always do when I have clients come into my office, I go over everything with them because I want to make sure when you leave my office that you have the knowledge base and the education to know exactly what you need. Somebody comes into my office and says, I want a will. I don't just give them information about a will. I give them the totality of all the information because I don't want you to leave here with questions in your mind. So today we're going to talk about power of attorneys. What is a power of attorney? A lot of people say, well, power of attorney is an attorney. No, I mean, it could be an attorney if you wanted it to be, but a power of attorney is where you're giving somebody, you're giving the agent. You are the principal. Me, Laura Sterling, I am the principal of the power of attorney, meaning I'm the one that's appointing that agent to take care of me, to make sure my finances are in order. So what I'm doing is I'm appointing an agent. Let's say I appoint my husband. Okay, I'm appointing my husband as my agent to take care of my finances, to take care of my health care. Now, does a power of attorney suffice after I pass? No. Power of attorney is null and void once you pass away. So the power of attorney is good while you're alive. Now, there's two types of power of attorneys. There is a specific power of attorney. Okay, my brother, he had gone to live in Germany for a few years. He wanted to sell his house. Could he do it from Germany? Probably back then when he was able to, maybe by email, maybe, but maybe not. So therefore, he had to have somebody here in the United States to take care of that for him. So what did he do? He appointed my parents as power of attorney just to take care of that. Once the house was sold, that's it. That's done. The power of attorney is null and void. So for specific things, you can have that power of attorney. However, if you want something to last, something to take care of your finances when you become unable, that would be something we call a durable power of attorney. And think of durable. Durable is something that lasts, right? Oh, I got a durable car, it lasts forever. Durable power of attorney lasts even beyond you becoming unable to make your own decisions. Then that power of attorney can come in and they can take care of that for you. Now, understand there's a couple issues with these power of attorneys. I want to make sure that you know this. The durable power of attorney goes into effect the moment you sign it. So it's not like I'm signing it and, oh, when I become incapacitated, this is when this goes into play. No. Once I sign it, let's say I sign it and my agent is my husband can take that power of attorney and go to the bank and say, listen, I'm her power of attorney. I can take all the money out of her account. So you have to make sure whoever you appoint as that durable power of attorney, that it's somebody you trust, somebody that you know will take care of you, that somebody that you need to have a conversation with, to sit down and go, this is what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of appointing you as my power of attorney. Is that something that you're willing to do? Is that something that you can do? Is that something that you will do honestly? And if they say, listen, it's just too much for me right now, I really don't feel comfortable doing that, then move on to the next person, move on to the next person. But it's somebody that you really need to trust and somebody that's going to follow through on things. Now, in a power of attorney, in a durable power of attorney, it can address just financials, and then you have a separate document to address healthcare needs. Or what I like to do, I just put it all into one. I put all the financial issues, and at the very end, I put end all healthcare decision making. Now, mind you, if you're at the doctor and your power of attorney just happens to be with you, the doctor, if you're able to make your own decisions, is not going to bypass you and go to the power of attorney. No, your doctor should talk to you about it. But the power of attorney is there to get the information potentially. So understand that a power of attorney is something that goes into effect immediately upon signing. So you need to make sure that you talk to that individual and you're on the same page. Now, the items that are in a durable power of attorney, at least in my durable power of attorney, cover finances, cover, dealing with the bank, dealing with mortgage companies, dealing with accountants and attorneys and all of that. That's what my power of attorney has turned into 4 pages now. Used to be just 2 pages. But every time I do one, I seem to add something to it that somebody wants, whether it's a bank that wants something a little more specific, whether it's a mortgage company that wants something a little bit more specific. I go by what they want. And I understand, and I tell my clients, understand, they're trying to protect you. That's what they're doing. So they want specific language in there to ensure that it's taken care of. So that's a power of attorney. You have a specific power of attorney, and then you have the durable power of attorney. Both come into effect once they're signed. The specific power of attorney, though, dies with that transaction. The house was sold. That power of attorney is now dead. The durable power of attorney lives with you, but understand this, it dies with you. So that durable power of attorney is durable through your life as long as you don't remove it and then dies with you. So that power of attorney can't come in and pretend they're your personal representative. Oh, hello, Melissa. Look at that beautiful background Melissa has. How many people can I appoint to make decisions for me if I cannot? I think you mean how many, right? How many people? I think that's what you mean. How many people can you appoint to make decisions for you if you cannot? You can put as many as you want. Sometimes what I do is I do co-power of attorneys where they work together, but they can work independent of each other. Or what I do sometimes is put a primary, and if that person's unable or unwilling, I put a secondary. If that person is unable or unwilling, I put a third one. I usually tell people to stop at 3 because otherwise I got an 18-page document with people that potentially will never serve as power of attorney. So I say usually 3 is good. I tell people try not to just put one person, because if you put that one person and something happens to that person, guess what? You're back in my office and you're getting another power of attorney. So try to at the very least, do 2, but I say comfortably 3 work. So good question. It can be as many as you want, but I would probably cap it at 3 for the moment. Of course, people say, well, I got 6 kids. Well, but you know which out of those 6 would probably be the top 3 that you would pick, don't you? I know. I only have 1, so I don't have a problem with that. Anyway, so that's a power of attorney. Now, there's also something called a healthcare surrogate. Now, a healthcare surrogate can be a separate document than a power of attorney. Healthcare surrogate is where I'm appointing somebody strictly just to make healthcare decisions for me if I'm unable. Now, like I said, I put that in my power of attorney document, so there's not so many documents floating around. But if you feel more comfortable in doing a separate healthcare surrogate designation, more than happy to do that. The next document that I go over with my clients is a living will. A living will has to do with you. your body. People come in and they'll confuse. Okay, I want a living will where my car goes to my nephew. And I have to stop them and say, no, 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 no. A living will has to do with, how do I say this? Your living self. How do you want to live? How do you want to live out those last few years? How do you want to live? And in that living will, you're willing people to do stuff for you. Living will in the state of Florida, because remember, I'm in the state of Florida. If you have questions and you're outside the state of Florida, please get with an attorney either in your state or in your country. A living will in the state of Florida requires three things, three elements. You're in a persistent, well, actually four. You're in a persistent vegetative state. There's no hope of recovery, and you have an end stage diagnosis. Now, who determines that? Of course, you have two physicians that are required, your primary and then a secondary, saying there's no hope of recovery, they're in a persistent vegetative state, and they have a terminal condition. As long as those two physicians certify that, your living will comes into play. What is a living will? A living will says that you only want to be kept comfortable. You want to be kept pain-free. You don't want any extraordinary measures. You just want to be comfortable. For example, God bless former Jimmy Carter that just passed away yesterday. He was in hospice, and we all know hospice is end of life. He finally just said, listen, I want to go home and be with my family. And so I'm assuming based off of that, that he kind of went, I just want to be kept comfortable. I just want to be pain-free. I just want to be around my family. I don't want any extraordinary measures done. I want to be with my loved ones in my last time here. So that's kind of what a living will is telling people to do. I can't make the decision on my own, but if I was to make it, this is what I would make. Now, I've had many, many, many family members, as you know, back when I was a social worker in a nursing home, that would come to me and say, no, 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 I don't want this living will honored. I don't want it. She would have never done this if, no, 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 she would have never done this, never done this. And I have to stop them and say, wait a minute, this is your parent or loved one talking to you when they can't. And they have their wishes written down saying, this is what I want. If I'm ever in these conditions, this is what I want. You're not making the decision. They're making the decision, and they're hoping that you follow through. That's why, again, you need to sit down and have that talk. Because if you have whoever you're appointing as your agent, your children, whomever, you need to sit down and say, hey, this is what I want. In my last years, this is what I want if I'm in these conditions. I just want to be kept comfortable. Are you able to do that? And then you can do your soul searching and go, no, I can't do it. I'm not strong enough. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would want everything done. Then you can make that decision whether or not you move forward with that person or not. But at least it's not way at the end when you're unable to do anything about it. And now everything's being done to you and you really didn't want that done. So living will works in talking to your healthcare providers and talking to your family and loved ones about what exactly you want done in the time that you're unable. So, living will, power of attorney. The last thing I want to cover is what we call a pre-need guardianship. Sounds like a lot of words, right? Pre-need guardianship is something that, okay, so if you have not appointed a power of attorney, you have nobody making decisions for you, you have this document called a pre-need guardian saying, if I'm ever in need of a guardian for whatever reason, this is who I want appointed. So again, you're unable to verbalize that because you're in a condition that requires a guardianship in place, but you're telling people, this is what I want. This is who I want. So if you're ever in need of a guardianship for whatever reason, you're telling the court who you want. Now, again, how many people do I appoint? Again, that's completely up to you, as Melissa asked, completely up to you. You can put down one, you can put down co's, you can put down alternates. But remember, it's you telling the court or telling whomever is wanting to get this guardianship who you want to be in that position. And don't worry about it. If you're kind of confused about what a guardianship is, we'll talk about that during another live, but that's something that the court appoints to make sure that your finances and your healthcare are taken care of if nobody else can. So, but we'll talk about that later during a different live. So let me sum it up for you, okay? Power of attorney. Power of attorney, you are appointing an agent. You're the principal. You're appointing an agent, an individual to take care of your finances and your health care. That's what you're doing. Remember that power of attorney is active once you sign it. So you want to make sure it's somebody you trust. So that's what a power of attorney is. Let's skip forward. Healthcare surrogate. Healthcare surrogate is a separate document from the power of attorney, and you're appointing somebody just to make healthcare decisions for you if you're unable. You can put them together or you can have them separate. It's completely up to you. Oh, I won. Oh, wrote a nice picture. How long is a power of attorney valid? What if I do not want my person to act anymore as my power of attorney? What do I need to do? Good question. So we talked about the power of attorneys. Remember the death, kind of. The one specific, when that task has been completed, that power of attorney dies. With a durable power of attorney, that durable lasts. It lasts until your death. Once a death, that power of attorney dies with you. Now, what if your person doesn't want to act anymore? Or what if you don't want them to act anymore? Suddenly, maybe they pass away, or maybe you're feeling like, maybe they're not going to follow through on my wishes. If you're able, you most definitely can void that power of attorney and do a new power of attorney. What I like to do in that case, if I know there's power of attorneys back there that I need to deal with, I'll usually put that all prior power of attorneys are null and void, so that I make sure that the one coming in, the new one, trumps the old one. So there is one thing you cannot do. The agent, the person I'm appointing as power of attorney, cannot say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Hey, sister, do you want to do this? Or hey, brother, do you want to do this? Or hey, cousin, do you want to do it? And sign over my rights as an agent. You can't do that. You cannot. The only person that can reassign an agent is me, the principal. I'm the only one. I cannot tell you how many times I've had come across my desk. Oh, well, I couldn't do it anymore, so I appointed my sister. So here's the document. No, you can't do that. You can't. Only the principal can do it. The agent cannot. So good question, Juan. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are paying attention. So again, power of attorney, healthcare surrogate, living will. Living will. What do I want to do with my living being self while I'm still alive? How do I want to have the last time in my life? How do I want to be treated? What do I want done with me? That's what a living will is. Pre-need guardian, if ever for some reason I need a guardian appointed for me, this is who I want. I'm telling everybody what I want. I'm telling everybody what I need. And that's what estate planning documents are all about. So I hope I helped you. I hope I helped you get into the new year. My office can certainly help you with all these documents, and we'd love to have you start your 2025 feeling secure, feeling that we've helped you and that you have all your documents in order. I hope to hear from you. And everybody, again, have a blessed, loving, graceful, peaceful, and safe new year. See you in 2025.